start the Facebook. That should start this. Okay, Facebook's ready to go there. Let's see if this is ready to go. And okay, that's live. That's so funny. Oh, we had a title. Yeah, title. Missing files. All right. So sorry, my friends on YouTube. I'm going live to YouTube. I'm going live to Facebook in the Studio One group. So if you're not a member of that, join that. You'll see in both places. This is easier to find details for later in terms of searching for stuff. But the Facebook group, 4,100 people. It's amazing. So go there as well. All right. Missing files and open. Why does S1 show a message when I open a file? Okay, I'll update that later. Go live. Okay. So sorry. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then I'm changing the order that I do things. I'm learning, working on software where I can go live both on Facebook and we go live on YouTube at the same time. So right now we're live on both. Be sure to let me know. You can see this, you can hear this, that it's working. I'm working on some things to make this whole process much simpler, faster, get started right away. All right, so if you're seeing this on Facebook, be sure to throw a comment in there. I now have it set up this time so I can see comments in both Facebook and in YouTube at the same time. I couldn't do that last time. I'm learning, just like everybody else. I'm learning. So here's the thing. People have this thing that they open a file and it's missing and they get a message, oh, missing files, and they think Studio One's broken. No, it's, don't take this wrong, but you don't understand the big picture. What's going on here? It's probably because you're normal. Almost nobody does in the beginning. I remember being confused by this, but we're going back 9 years. So a song file, when you open it, so let's take this thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to close it. So when we have this, I just close that file. There's a bunch of other things on this one. I'll go to the start page, and I have this one right here, all right? And that tells me where it is. It's under VO projects. If I go and look at it, it tells me a location. I can right-click on it. I can show in Explorer, and we'll go look at that. All right. So there's the song file. It's a tiny little thing, 41K. And I'm going to open it. And of course, you can open it by clicking on it over here in the start page. That works really, really well. Ooh, I still don't have a comment yet. So I'm hoping if you're seeing this, yeah, throw a comment in YouTube, throw a comment in Facebook. Oh, let me put the comment. Let me put the YouTube URL in Facebook so people can find that there. Where's that URL there? Where's the share? Oh yeah, share. And copy and go over here. YouTube version. Please let me know. And here's the link to that. Boom. Okay. Got that going there too. All right. So you can check that out. I'm really working hard to get both of these working great. And so you can go over there and check it out. And cool. All right. That's very helpful. And who was that? Justin. All right. Thank you, Justin. Really appreciate you doing that. It is so helpful to know that you can see it and hear it. So back to our story here. All right, we have this thing here. We have a file, and when we open it, there is a song file. Now, a song file, what people don't understand in the beginning is the song file does not contain any audio. Your refrigerator, when you buy it brand new, contains no food. It's a place that you store food, and you do get the food and you put it in the refrigerator, and then you have a nice combination. You have cold food and you have your refrigerator, but the refrigerator is not your food. It is a master container for the food you want to keep cold or frozen or whatever. And so when I open this one, in the background are all these files. Now you can find these easily. These are the music files. This happens to be a spot that I'm going to show later how I built this, because this is a really incredible, I'm really proud of the way this turned out. I'll play it for you for a second here. Let me play it.
for the most electrifying event of the year.
Hold on. All right, I got to turn that up. I noticed immediately my meters were not being right. That's my fault. Here it is. This is a little promo spot my son did here recently.
Are you ready for the most electrifying event of the year? Witness the ultimate boxing event that will leave you breathless. Fight Night Champion is back on October 28th at the Shed Dockyard.
So there's a bunch of stuff going on there. You have the voiceover track. You have, and I'll play you these real quick so you can get a feel for it.
28th at the
Voiceover
Shed.
track. Music track. Crowd track. One of the explosions. There's a couple explosions there, though. That one happens to be the same. I think at the end I have a different one. Oh, yeah, there's a different one here. Okay, so I have, say, explosions. I have a voice track. I have a music track. I have a crowd track. And they all come in, and these things happen at certain times, and whatever. All right? So you have all these things. These are components here. Now, I happen to know in the background because I checked it. That's about 4.5, what is it? 400 megabytes worth of sound in the background, the WAV files that this came from, about 400 megs. If we go ahead and we find this file, so watch this. Those files are all stored on disk. They are not stored in the song file. The song file is tiny. If I choose the song menu, you have a menu here called Show Media Folder in Explorer. Show Media Folder in Explorer. And when you open that up, it comes up, and look at that. That's the music file right there. There's the file that is the actual voiceover file. Here's an explosion. Here's another explosion. Here's the crowd in the background. I don't remember what that one is. There's another, I have different kinds of explosions, all right? But if we add all those up, that is 70 megabytes worth of data as far as audio, 70, okay? Sitting right there. Boom, 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 voice track, all the stuff. That is not in the actual file because watch this. We go up here. The song file is only 41K. That's tiny. That's not even 1 megabyte. And the media itself was 70 megabytes. So it's not even one for the actual song file. The song file does not contain any audio. It contains, so the song, just so you know, I mean, I know you don't care directly. As a matter of fact, you could go years and not understanding this stuff. It's fine. You don't need to know it. It's behind the scenes. This file has a corresponding file over here on disk, or this track, excuse me, this little thing. They're all sitting on disk. What does that do? It allows it to be non-destructive. What does that do? It means that if something goes wrong, you don't lose everything, your whole project all at once. In the background, all the pieces are there. If you record 20 segments while you're recording, then what's going to happen? You're going to have 20 files in the media folder, one for every segment that you record. What does that also mean? If something goes wrong, you lose the last one. If you didn't write to disk, if your machine crashed, if your power goes out, whatever reason, it's pretty cool. You don't lose everything just because one segment is missing. But here's what people do. I'm going to go, I just muted that track, by the way. Let me take that, and I can tell. No, watch this, because I think it's because of what I had pressed up here. This, we will unmute that, and oh, it's muted now. It's unmuted. I turned that thing gray, okay? So we're going to go back here. I want to see if that one plays here. We're going to see if it's all playing.
Night Champion is back on October 28th at the Shed Dockyard. Witness the clash of titans, Garcia versus...
Yep, that's right there. Okay, that's just because that's what was selected. I saw gray and I think, oh, no, something went wrong. But so everything's playing there. It's all working fine. It's fine. But here's what people do. Sometimes they want to save this as a template like the master thing, not realizing that a template itself does not contain any audio. The audio is all kept in a media folder, but a template doesn't have its own media folder unless you jump through some hoops, or you put all the media in an appropriate place where it can find it. Studio One's tracking this, but here's what really happens. So people go ahead and they take this and they delete something out here. And sometimes they clear things off the drive in the background. This is what happens the most. But so I'm going to take this file, And I have right here all the media that is in this song file. And I'm going to choose File, and I'm going to close it. Okay. Now I want to save changes. Sure, save changes. Didn't necessarily need to do that. In this case, I just did that. And watch this. So now in the background, here is the media. Okay, sitting right here. I'm going to go ahead and rename something. Let's take the voice track up here at the top, and I'm going to rename it. And the reason I'm renaming it is just so that I could just delete it. And if I do that, but now by renaming it, I won't be able to find it because it was tracking it by name on the disk. So watch this. We're going to go back, and we're going to go to this spot here. And now we get the Locate Missing Files box. Now, some of you might get a whole bunch of things showing here. What does that mean? It means that in the background, somebody did something which caused those files to not be available. They renamed a folder. They renamed a file. They deleted something. They thought, oh, sometimes someone will copy something from one spot to another, and then it's not in the spot. So what Studio One is basically telling you is this: you ever have kids, this will happen. You go to the grocery store, you bring home a bunch of things. They're supposed to put the potato chips in the potato chip bin, wherever you keep it in your pantry or in your kitchen, and instead they put it in the refrigerator. So you're like, hey, where did my chips go? Well, your chips are still there. They're someplace in the kitchen, but somebody else put them away in a spot that you didn't expect. And now you ask everyone, hey, anyone see my kombucha? Where'd the kombucha go? Oh, somebody drank it. Okay, that's what happened in my place. Matter of fact, we used to have daddy chips because with 5 kids, I got frustrated at points that I would buy a bag of blue corn chips or something that I liked. They were something that I bought them specifically for me. And my rats/kids would eat them in the background before I got to them. It might take me 2 or 3 days, and I'd come in and go looking for my chips, and boom, they were gone. So Dad would go, hey, where'd my chips go? And eventually they became daddy chips, and Mom would say, don't touch those. Those are daddy chips, simply because I wanted to keep them. Well, kind of same thing here. Studio One shouting, where my chips go? Or where did my audio go? And it's because it was renamed right here, it could not find it. So what does it do? It's possible that got moved. So I can click on that, and I can say, locate file. And now I'm going to go to that, and what I don't remember if I can do, I think I can even do one with a different name, and I think it'll update it. Watch this in the background. I can't remember, so I'm doing this live. I'm taking a chance. And if I do that, watch what happens. It now brought that back. I add a different name on that. In the background, it has a different name. I have this rename, and I just found the file. So that would be the same thing. Hey, nobody ate my chips. Dad's all upset. Oh, my chips are gone. Oh, terrible day. And it really turns out that somebody, after they came home from the grocery store, somebody put them in a different spot than where I expected them. I couldn't find them. I announced to the whole house, hey, anybody see my chips? Yeah, they're in that cupboard. Oh, cool. Thank you. Got them. And then I put them back where they really belong. So Studio One is simply telling us I'm missing my audio. Just like your favorite food could be put someplace else in the kitchen because someone was eating, maybe someone was trying to be nice to you. And then now it just seems like they're missing. So you can go ahead behind the scenes. Now, here's one of the things we're going to do. I'm going to rename this again. You can actually, let me do it the other way. Hold on. I'm going to delete this. Now, here, this is fascinating. Now, this file is not here. I mean, it's not in the interface, okay? But watch this. File, I'm going to save it again. File close. Save your changes. Yes. So I saved that. I just closed that. Now, that file in the background, Studio One was still tracking, okay? I think I say that, tracking. A little bit of Midwestern accent comes in there. And then I'm going to say, rename number 2. So now behind the scenes, I just renamed that. Now, when I open that, here's this bizarre thing. That track doesn't really exist. Oh, let me do it different. I'm going to do it. So now, see, but it's gone. So now it's showing me something that isn't even used. And watch this. If I make this wider, I get a little thing here where it says, not used. This is what you're going to find out most of the time is going on. The file itself, it got deleted. It got saved, but then it was renamed or deleted or moved or whatever in the background. It's not there, but Studio One is tracking what was there. Why? Because it's non-destructive. and there's a place in the background that I'll go over at some point called the pool, and all your audio is in the pool. It's non-destructive, so it's tracking all this stuff. Even when you delete it, it's still tracking where it was. Now, if I hadn't gone and renamed it in the background, it would have still been in the background and wouldn't have yapped at me. But right now, that's been renamed. It can't find it. It doesn't know where it is. And there's 2 commands you can use. Now, let's say I never want that one back. I'm just going to delete this track, for example. I don't really need to do that. I remove that track. So I don't care about that file anymore. I'm not using it. Studio One is still tracking it. It got renamed or moved in the background, but now song, remove unused files. Now what that is going to do is, originally Studio One was trying to be nice to me and keep all the things and keep track of where they were. And now I'm telling it, look it, if you don't see it in the interface, you may get rid of it. And now Studio One, do you want to remove these unused files? That just means it's not showing up in this interface. It doesn't mean, and so I don't need you to track it anymore. I now know where the daddy chips are. I now know where that food is being stored. The kombucha is in this spot, and I can get that. And I just say yes to this. Do you want me to remove these files? Yes. So now when I save this and close it, you'll see I'm not going to get the message that it can't find the files. It doesn't care that it can't find the files. Did I do that right? Did I pick the right thing? I'm going to say close. Okay. And there we go. And so now I'll go back to it here and watch this. I open this. Now I'm not going to get that message because I told it I don't care anymore about where. Now I know where it was. I wasn't using it. It's gone. So the couple keys to the kingdom here. So if you have a template where it's showing up with those, open a fresh copy of the template, go into Song, remove unused files, and then save the template again. And then it won't ask you every time about that because someone probably cleared some audio off of there, but Studio One's still tracking it and can't find it anymore because you probably deleted the folder. That happens all the time. People don't need things, and they think that once I clear this, Studio One doesn't care about all that stuff that was there. In the background, it is still tracking all those pieces so that later, 2 weeks later, a year later, you have some problem, you can go back and get all that audio, put it back in place. Safety feature, it works great. It's actually a win for you and me, but it doesn't seem so at first. And so people, every time I open a file, it's got this message. Yeah, it's got that message because of the way you and I did it. It's doing its job. It's keeping us safe. If we ever want to go back, we can rebuild something. If we have something fail, the machine fails or whatever, we can deal with it. Now I'm going to undo that in this case, but I also could get it all back from it's still all on disk and it's still being tracked by Studio One, knowing that it's in this. But in this case, I don't need to do that. So it's actually pretty simple. The song file is like a refrigerator. It's a blank space. You get to put in it everything you want. You can put music and sound effects and voice and then mix those together. Do simple things, do complicated things. That's cool. In the background, it's tracking all of that. And note, look at this file here. This file is a little bit crazy. This is my music file. And this file I use whenever I'm doing, like you heard there was music playing in the background of that spot. Well, I have one that as I click on things, I'm going to play them here. So what that's about is this file is the one that I use. It's one of my, I have like 400 files, 500 files that I've downloaded over the years for my music services. They're all, I pay a yearly fee, and once I download them, I can use them forever. So I have a master one that has 400 or 500 files. I think it's closer to 500 now, last time I checked. But I have the top 90 that I use, and many of them I've extended. They started off being something like this song, this one that's right here. I call it Airline 2 Extended. And the reason that I have that is because we did some project sometime, and it was probably an e-learning project, and there was a 22-minute video, and this thing was playing in the background. We made a decision. It was very quiet in the background, but it was there just for a feel. And I needed something that was 20 minutes. So I looped a bunch of things, and it went 20 minutes long. I have Christmas ones in here. I just have crazy amounts of stuff. This one I created in Studio One. Yeah, I just threw together some things from their loop library and created that little thing. And I've actually used it in some commercial things. People are like, hey, where'd you get that music? Well, I made it up. But here's the thing. Watch this. The actual song file here, I happen to know, is 141 kilobytes. So tiny. It's about 10% of a megabyte. 14% of a megabyte would be a little more accurate there. And that yet when we go in the background and we say, show us the media folder, and I look at this, the actual audio here, let me just highlight, there's 99 tracks and there's 99 items here. I'm going to Control A, Command A that. That's 4.2 gigabytes worth of audio sitting in this file. So the actual file in the background is tiny, tiny, tiny. I should have done it the other way. Show media. We'll go up one. And the actual file, I think, is this one right here. And let's make it bigger and ask it. Let me have it show us. Hold on. Size. I'm wrong. It's 121 kilobytes right now. So it's tiny. There's nothing there. It's the big refrigerator. It can contain 100 tracks or 500 tracks or whatever, 2 tracks, whatever we need. And at the same time, the actual audio is stored in the media folder, which contains all 4 gigabytes worth of audio. So that there are 2 things. You have a refrigerator, you put stuff in it. The song file's a refrigerator, but then you have to know where it is. It's tracking it, even when you delete stuff. So let me look at comments. Let me see if anybody got anything. I don't see any comments over here on the face. What is that? On YouTube. But whatever, it's there. It also looks blurry on YouTube. So somebody at some point tell me. So let me look at the darn kids. Yeah, Jonathan, are you ever right about that? That's why we had daddy chips at one point. All right, now they're all old enough that they're respectful about it. But when they were younger, if they saw it, they ate it, whatever. So let me look. I can't mark and export a file, and the program locks up. Yeah, there's something else going on there. First off is reinstall again. It would be the first thing is, but hopefully that's something that's specific on your machine. If you can't mark and export a file, and then something's going on in that machine. Also remember, if you had version 5 on there, it would have installed in parallel. But if not, you have to get a hold of me. There's something going on that's totally different than what we're talking about today. You send me a message, okay? And we'll figure it out. But first thing I do, if something's not working, is I go ahead and I do a reinstall, okay? 8 out of 10 times that'll solve that kind of problem. 2, there could be something else going on. Be sure to reboot before you do that. I'd reboot first, then go ahead and do the reinstall, and then see. Every once in a while, remember, antivirus programs in the background can cause havoc and have something not installed correctly. There's a whole bunch of things on a machine that can cause Studio One to have a failure, and especially right after you do an install, if there was antivirus running while that happened, there are other things that can block, so something didn't get written correctly. Something else was open at that time that was blocking something. If there wasn't, some machines, depending on what else was open, what else was going on, may have required a reboot. So, hey, if you're having a problem like that, get a hold of me. I don't see any comments on this specific thing, but I hope everybody found out something about the missing files, because if I took one of these here and while this is closed, I get rid of it or rename it, it will not show. It'll yell at me. Now, I might have moved it. I could have renamed something in the background that I had dragged in, because remember, you can drag things in from all over your hard drive and it's tracking where you did that. And so if something's gone or unavailable, then you will get that message. You can either reconnect it all, or you can go ahead and tell it, hey, song, remove unused. So there's kind of some different things. Locate missing files. I don't have any files missing on this one. And I can go find them all again and point it to where they are if they've been moved. And then the other one that I have that I will use all the time is remove unused files. And then if you have an issue after that, then be sure to get a hold of me. But that's really 95% of what's going on there. And it's just people don't understand that a song file does not contain audio. Your template files do not contain any audio. Even if you create your own, and let's see, for example, in this one here, I don't have a room tone track in here. I have a layer. I do have the layer, but it doesn't have any room tone in it. Well, this is audio. If I put room tone on my template, it's audio. It has to be able to find that audio. And a lot of times people will put something on there, but then they'll delete it in the background thinking, oh, well, I had put it in this file, thinking that the refrigerator contained the food. And that's where the metaphor kind of breaks down a little bit. You still have the food located someplace. It's a container. It's tracking where it is on your drive. You're really not putting the food in the refrigerator, but the refrigerator is where you keep. It's a container. You keep food in it. It's not the food. Okay, it's not the audio. No audio is kept in the container in this case. So that's where the metaphor breaks down a little bit, but hopefully you get the idea. If you have questions or comments, then I look forward to talking to you. All right. And I look blurry, I think, at least on my copy of, so I'm going to fix that. Yeah, I see on Facebook, I think it's less blurry, but I don't know. Who knows? All right. Hope you have a fantastic day. Let me know how it's going. And if you have an issue, please get a hold of me. We'll talk to you later. Bye.